Zina and Bale were more than friends. They were like sisters. From their small town, they dreamed of building a fashion brand that would make African styles shine on the global stage. Zina was the designer, the quiet genius who sketched every idea and hand-stitched every detail. Bale was the loud one, always talking, always charming, always networking. Together they were unstoppable, or so Zina believed. They worked for months. Late nights, borrowed fabrics, endless stress. But finally their dream was about to launch. The big event was just 1 week away. Zina was excited, until she saw the flyers. The logo had changed. The website was live. Everything was branded as Mbale Fashion House. Zina's name. Nowhere. She called Mbale in shock. No answer. He texted. Nothing. The betrayal hit hard. Her own best friend had erased her from the business they built together. Zina didn't argue. She didn't fight. She just left. Quietly. Silently. She packed her sketches and disappeared back to her village. For 6 months she worked in silence. No drama, no noise. Just passion and pain turned into beautiful designs. When she returned with her new brand, Zina by Fire, nobody expected what came next. She launched online at noon. By 2 p.m., her collection had sold out in 5 countries. Instagram exploded. Women across Africa were wearing her pieces. Zina didn't need revenge. Success spoke louder. And this time no one could erase her name. Cora had always trusted too easily. She believed that when you build something beautiful with someone, they won't turn around and break it. But she was wrong. She and her best friend, Amara, spent years working on a special skincare formula made from African herbs and oils. It was their dream to create something natural, something powerful, something real. Cora did the research, tested every ingredient, and perfected the blend. Amara helped with marketing and connections. Together they were building something magical. Then one day everything changed. Cora woke up to see Amara on TV, smiling next to a famous influencer, calling herself the creator of the product they had worked on together. The brand was live. The packaging looked familiar. Too familiar. Cora's formula. Cora's words. But Cora's name. Completely gone. People told her to fight. But Cora didn't say a word. She didn't post anything. She didn't drag Amara online. She went silent. But she wasn't still. She went back to work, harder than ever. She created a new formula, even better than the first. She tested it, branded it, kept everything quiet. No leaks, no noise. Just focus. 6 months later, the biggest beauty expo in Africa arrived. Everyone expected Amara to dominate again. But then, Cora walked in. 5 African celebrities walked with her, all wearing her brand's colors. Cameras turned. Reporters rushed over. Her booth sparkled, natural, bold, and completely fresh. International press called it the highlight of the event. Orders poured in. Influencers posted her products within hours. Amara's booth stood just a few steps away, quiet, ignored, forgotten. Cora didn't even look in her direction. She didn't need to. Because silence isn't weakness. Sometimes silence is the sound of a storm building. And when it finally arrives, takes everything with it. Thami and her best friend Lona had dreamed of owning their own clothing label since high school. They worked side by side, sketching, sewing, saving every little coin they had. Thami was the one who created the designs, stayed up late sewing every dress by hand, and took beautiful photos for their online page. Lona said she would handle the paperwork and registration. Thami never thought twice about it. She trusted her like a sister. But the day they were ready to launch, everything changed. When Thami went to open their business account, the name was already taken. Her stomach dropped. She checked the records. The brand, the logo, the company, even the business bank account, was all registered under Lona's name. Her own name wasn't on anything. She called Lona, shaking. Lona simply said, "It's better this way. You're not business-minded like me." Thami was crushed. She had no money, no legal backup, nothing. Her own dream had been stolen right in front of her. She didn't argue. She didn't go online and expose her. She simply walked away. But she didn't stop. She went back to Instagram. She started from scratch, selling pieces one by one, showing behind-the-scenes videos, packaging orders herself, walking to the post office with bags in hand. People loved her work. Slowly, her page grew. She caught the attention of a silent investor, an older woman who had been watching her journey quietly. That investor reached out and said, "Let's do this the right way." Months later, at the next big fashion launch in Johannesburg, black SUVs pulled up outside the venue. Security stepped out first. Then Thami walked out, head high, wearing her new collection under her new name, Thami Luxe. Her booth was bigger, brighter, and busier than anyone else's. Even journalists rushed to get her interview. Lona was there too. But nobody noticed. Because when someone steals your name, you don't fight for it. You build a new one that's too loud to ignore. Jaba was the kind of friend who gave everything without keeping count. When she met Nambi, Nambi had nothing. No job, no direction, just big dreams and empty hands. Jaba took her in like a sister. She taught her how to sew, how to source good material, how to talk to customers, how to manage online sales. Together, they started a small handbag business from Jaba's garage. It wasn't easy. There were days they didn't eat just to buy thread and fabric. But slowly things picked up. Orders started coming in. People loved their unique African designs. Then one morning, Jaba woke up to the news. Nambi had launched her own handbag business. Same bag names, same marketing words, same designs, even the same color palette. It was like looking in a mirror, but this mirror cut deep. Nambi opened a fancy boutique and gave interviews, saying she started alone. Jaba's name wasn't mentioned once. People expected Jaba to fight, to go online, to expose her. But Jaba didn't say a word. She went quiet. She left the old brand behind and started over from zero. But this time she went bigger. Better materials, cleaner designs, and a new name, Jaba Roots. She didn't rent a shop. She went fully online. She used real stories in her marketing, photos of village women crafting each bag by hand. She showed truth, heart, and beauty. Customers noticed. Within a year, Jaba Roots became the #1 online brand for African handbags. She shipped worldwide. Celebrities tagged her. Magazines featured her. Her name trended not because of drama, but because of quality. Nambi's shop, slowly forgotten. Because Jaba realized something powerful. You don't need to scream when your work speaks louder. Her betrayal may have been Nambi's beginning, but her comeback became the end of everything fake. Fari was the quiet force behind the screen. While her friend Noura was out taking selfies and shaking hands, Fari was the one building the foundation of their social media agency, creating content strategies, running ads, editing videos, and staying up all night to meet deadlines. They had started the agency from nothing, working out of cafes and sometimes even Fari's bedroom. Fari handled the clients. She knew what worked, what sold, and how to make numbers grow. Noura just presented it well. But when the brand started gaining attention, something changed. One day, during a team meeting, a new client asked, "Who's your co-founder?" Noura laughed lightly and said, "Oh, Fari. She just helps out." Fari sat there stunned. Just helps out. After everything. And soon after it got worse. Fari was locked out of the email accounts. Removed from group chats. Clients stopped responding to her. She found out through a mutual friend. Noura had restructured the company and removed Fari completely. She didn't scream. She didn't post. She simply left. But she didn't quit. She started over. Alone. New name. Fresh brand. She didn't focus on being flashy. She focused on results. She helped small businesses grow fast. Word spread. She worked quietly but powerfully. Then came the National Digital Summit. It was the biggest tech and marketing event in the country. Fari didn't expect much. She was just glad to be invited. But to her shock, her company was introduced first. The room clapped. And then, the Minister of Tech stood up and clapped for her too. Fari walked on stage, calm and smiling. Noura was there too, sitting quietly in the crowd watching. Because Fari was never just a helper. She was the builder, the engine, the mind. And now the world finally saw it. Sometimes the people they push aside come back and take the spotlight. Lula believed in healing through nature. She grew up watching her grandmother mix leaves, roots, and fruits into powerful remedies. That knowledge stayed with her, and years later, she turned it into something beautiful: organic juice blends that helped with energy, skin, digestion, and more. She worked in silence for years, testing, learning, mixing until her formulas were perfect. She shared everything with her closest friend, Rena: the recipes, the process, the suppliers. They dreamed of building a brand together. But one morning, Lula opened Instagram and saw something that stopped her heart. Rena had launched a new juice brand. Same flavors, same names, even the same bottle design. First, Lula thought it was a mistake. But then she saw her own handwritten ingredients list, posted by a company that had paid Rena for it. She had sold Lula's secrets for money. Lula was heartbroken. She didn't go online to fight. She didn't beg for credit. She packed her things and went back home to her village. She stayed quiet for weeks. But her silence wasn't weakness. It was the beginning of something bigger. She gathered the women in her village: mothers, aunties, sisters, women who knew the land, who knew the plants better than any lab. Together they started again. They made juices from scratch. This time Lula trained them in the business. And when she launched her new eco-brand Motherroot, she didn't just post it online. She marched in with 200 women by her side, all wearing green, holding baskets of fruits and leaves. The video went viral in hours. Big news outlets picked it up. Orders poured in from across Africa and beyond. Health stores begged to stock her products. The market shifted overnight. Rena, forgotten. Because Lula didn't just rebuild a business. She built a movement. From betrayal came sisterhood. And no stolen secret could ever compete with that kind of power. Sua and her best friend, Duni, built their tech idea from the ground up. It started with late nights in the university library, scribbling codes on napkins, testing designs on borrowed laptops, and dreaming of launching something big: an app that connected local service providers to customers across cities. Sua handled the tech, every line of code, every bug fix, every update. Duni handled the pitch decks, the talking, the networking. They promised each other 50-50 always. But when investors showed interest, Sua noticed things shifting. She was left out of meetings. Then, at a startup event, she overheard Duni introducing herself as the sole founder. When someone asked about Sua, Duni laughed and said, "Oh, she's just one of our interns." Super helpful. Sua felt her world crash. She confronted Duni, but all she got was, "This is how business works, Sua. Don't take it personally." So she walked away. Quietly. No public post. No drama. Just pain and purpose. She started over with a simple laptop and an idea: build something better. Something cleaner. Something fair. For a whole year she worked in silence. She improved the old features, added new ones, and made it easier to use. She didn't chase investors. She bootstrapped, freelanced, and saved every coin. Then one Tuesday morning she launched her own app, LinkNet. By Friday it was trending in 9 countries. Tech blogs wrote about it. Influencers shared it. Users loved how smooth it was. Within days she had more downloads than the original app, without even trying. At a major tech panel someone asked, "Where did this new app come from?" And someone answered, "From the girl they called an intern." Sua didn't speak badly of Duni. She didn't have to. Because when your work is real, the truth finds a way to shine. And this time, everyone saw who the real builder was. Abony and her best friend Tara started making jewelry with their hands, using beads, stones, and wires they bought from the local market. What began as a hobby turned into something beautiful. Abony designed each piece, taught herself wirework, and spent hours creating unique necklaces, earrings, and bracelets. Tara helped with selling and marketing. They called it their baby. After a year of hard work, they got noticed by a big lifestyle store that wanted to sign a deal to stock their collection. It was their dream coming true. But the night before the deal was signed, Abony got a call from the store. "Hi, just confirming. We'll be working with Tara Designs, right?" Abony's heart dropped. Tara had registered the business in her own name. The website was live. The brand was hers now. No mention of Abony. No credit. Nothing. When Ebony asked why, Tara simply said, "It's easier this way. You don't really like the business side anyway." Ebony didn't argue. She didn't post about it. She packed her tools and went home. But she didn't stop creating. Back in her hometown, she started again, this time with a bigger purpose. She trained 50 women, most of them single mothers and widows, teaching them how to make jewelry. Together they built a new brand, Ebony Earth. It wasn't just a jewelry line, it was a movement. When they launched online, their story went viral. A video of the women singing while crafting went across Instagram and TikTok. News outlets picked it up. Orders came in from Europe, the US, South Africa, everywhere. Ebony's name was now on international platforms. At a design expo, her brand was featured on the main stage. And in the front row, Tara watched in silence. Because what Ebony built couldn't be stolen again. It wasn't just a business anymore. It was a community, a legacy, a name that would echo far beyond betrayal. Leah had always been the builder, the one who saved, planned, and dreamed big. She opened a small creative workspace in the city where local designers, artists, and crafters could come together and grow. Her childhood friend, Mira, was one of the first people she invited in. She gave her a free desk, helped her set up, even introduced her to clients. Together they made the space feel like home. Leah handled the business side. Mira brought in energy and charm. People admired their teamwork. But one morning, Leah showed up to the office, and her keycard didn't work. Confused, she tried calling Mira. No answer. She waited, then finally saw a security guard who told her, "Sorry, you've been removed from the lease. Ownership has been updated." Her heart dropped. She rushed upstairs. Her tools were gone. Her folders, samples, and design sketches all disappeared. Mira had quietly convinced the landlord to transfer the space to her name. The same friend she brought in had pushed her out of her own vision. Leah went quiet. People whispered, asking what happened. She didn't explain. She just worked. She moved into a dusty old storage building on the edge of town, scrubbed the floors, painted the walls, and slowly rebuilt. This time she created not just a workspace, but a movement. She trained young designers, especially girls from the inner city. She gave them tools, mentorship, and hope. And when the big city creative expo came around, everyone expected Myra's brand to shine. But all eyes turned to Leah's booth. Her team, diverse, bold, and full of fresh talent, was the only one with international clients. Her designs were being shipped to 5 countries. International brands wanted collaborations. Magazines featured her story. Mira stood across the hall. No one was talking about her. Because Leah didn't just rebuild what was taken. She built something bigger, louder, and impossible to steal. And this time she brought a whole new generation with her. Asha had always loved stories. From the time she was a child, she would write about powerful women, dramatic twists, and deep emotions that made people stop and feel. So when she and her friend Tara started a YouTube storytelling channel, it felt like the perfect match. Asha wrote every script, line by line, night after night. Tara handled the voiceovers and editing. Together they grew fast. Views climbed. Comments poured in. People loved their content. It was finally working. But one morning, Asha woke up and the channel was gone. Deleted. He tried logging in. Nothing. She called Tara. No answer. Later that day, a new channel appeared. Same logo, same style, same stories. But this time only Tara's name was there. No mention of Asha. No credit for the hundreds of scripts she wrote. Asha felt like her soul had been ripped out. But instead of fighting back, she went silent. For weeks she didn't post, didn't speak. Then one night she opened her notebook again. And she wrote. New story. Then another. Then 10 more. This time she started her own channel, Folktales. She didn't announce it loudly. She just posted her first video, The Girl Who Was Erased. It exploded overnight. People shared it everywhere. They connected with her pain, her truth, her words. She turned her real betrayal into a fictional series. Drama, love, revenge, power. Within a month, her channel broke every record. Asha was trending across Africa. Journalists called. Agents emailed. Then one message came that changed everything. Netflix was interested. Meanwhile, Tara's channel slowed down. Views dropped. People noticed the change in writing. Something was missing, and they knew it. Because Asha didn't just take back her story. She rewrote the entire industry. And this time no one could delete her name.